Having been involved in the Lancaster Constitution-making process in the 1960s, Mboya cautioned the nation against constitutional rigidity. In particular, he argued that the Constitution cannot be useful to a country if it is an end in itself. A good Constitution must be responsive to the aspirations of a nation and be a means to a greater end. And if the political architecture provided by a constitution cannot support the growth and progress of a nation, that constitution becomes a cancer to the body politic. On his part, the founding father of the nation, Mzee Jomo Kenyatta, imagined a free Kenya as far back as the 1930s, Manchester, in the United Kingdom. His dream is painted in his books, Facing Mount Kenya, as published in 1938. And in this dream, he cautioned us that the seed of freedom will only take root if our mindset is focused on the right thing. In the business of building the nation, he warned that we must not focus on what has been done, for our focus should be on what remains to be done. And this is so because it is natural. Every time one target is attained, a new one becomes necessary and urgent. The right mindset is therefore a critical plank to making a dream come true. Office in 2013, which was renewed last month, Kenyans did also bestow on me two instruments of power. The first one was the Constitution, and the second was the sword, and I swore to use them to defend and protect Kenya, any form of aggression, internal and external. And that is why I have the responsibility of serving as your President and Commander-in-Chief of our defense forces, and this I will not fail in. Today, I serve notice to those treating our constitutional order with casual recklessness that the Constitution is the general will of all. No one, including myself, is above it. No matter who you are subject to its authority. Anything outside the Constitution is a hostile intrusion. Whoever destroys property, whoever chooses senseless violence over constitutional order, all these are enemies of the Republic, and that is how they will be treated. In closing, fellow Kenyans, I wish to reiterate the point I made earlier. There will be a 5th, 6th, and even 10th President of Kenya, but there will not be a 2nd, 3rd, or 4th Kenya. Leaders come and go, but Kenya remains. Our duties are therefore clear. We must preserve that nationhood. We must achieve the freedom and prosperity that are ours by right. Tutembee pamoja safari hii bega kwa bega. And I believe if we do so, we will have proved ourselves the rightful heirs of that nation that
prejudice and any political, religious, or other influence in the exercise of the judicial functions entrusted to you. And I will at all times, and to the best of my knowledge and ability, protect, administer, defend this Constitution with a view of upholding the dignity and the respect for the judiciary and the judicial system of Kenya, and promoting fairness, independence, competence, and integrity within it. Mine is only to wish you God's blessings as you embark on your duties. We will pray for you. We know you will succeed. We are there to partner with you and to work with you. as the executive branch of government. We want to partner with you. We want to work together with you. And we pray for your success. Justice Ouko, both of you.
Fellow Kenyans, in concluding my remarks today, let me take this opportunity to say something about our Constitution. Tomorrow, the 27th of August, 2020, will mark the 10th year since we promulgated our new Constitution. This Constitution has been hailed the world over as one of the most progressive, not only in our region or the African continent, but the world over. And this is because it is an embodiment of what a social contract between people of different origins and their governments should be. But I must remind us all of one thing. If our past is constantly at war with our present, we will, together, lose our future. And the spirit of this Constitution was meant to reconcile our past with the present in order to secure our future. But the crafters of this social contract also told us and reminded us that a constitution was a work in progress. And as such, we were made to adopt it with a promise that in the future, we will make it better. 10 years later, the moment to improve on it, I believe, is now. And as I said in my Madaraka Day speech, we must not, as a people, succumb to the paralysis of constitutional rigidity. We must treat a constitution as a living being, as a living document that must constantly adjust to our emerging realities. In our past, all our constitutions have been what we may call ceasefire documents, agreements created to either dodge confrontation or avoid civil conflict. And indeed, if you do a textual reading of these constitutions, they represent a constant argument between the past and the present. And that is why I call them ceasefire documents. But 10 years after one of the most progressive constitutions, I believe the moment calls on us to do better. Instead of a ceasefire document that enforces a zero-sum game in which winner takes all and loser is expected to accept, the moment calls us to a new time. The moment calls us to create a constitutional order that will long endure and survive and not be a conflict-stopping constitution, but rather a future-building document. And on this, I want to emphasize to all of us that we must not go down a path of populism today, but let us choose a bold path, a path that will assure each and every Kenyan regardless of where they come from, their social background, their ethnic background, their religious background, assure every Kenyan of sustained peace, security, and shared economic responsibility. Finally, fellow Kenyans, if we view our health crisis indeed first and foremost as a health crisis, but also switch our view and ask ourselves that this can also be looked at not just as a danger, but an opportunity, I do believe that we can completely rearrange our country. And we have seen it in the various new ways even we as government are reorganizing ourselves, in the manner in which this crisis has forced us to focus on the most disadvantaged in our country, in the health clinics that we are building in our informal settlements, in the roads that we are building in our informal settlements where the majority of our people live, in the opportunities through Kazi Mtaani and many other government programs that we intend to initiate to support our young people, in the manner in which we are also reorganizing our government to take advantage of digital technology in the performance of our work and in our outreach. I do believe we can rearrange our country. I do believe that it is possible and that our constitutional architecture can be not a conflict resolution document, but a document that lays the architecture of our future heritage. And indeed, as Abraham Lincoln once said, the only way a people or a nation can predict the future is to invent it themselves. We can invent together that future, and we want to do so through our actions of civic responsibility today. May God bless you all. May God continue to bless this great Republic of Kenya. Asanteni sana, twashukuru.